So to define those data structures that we were just talking about, the field element is used to define a site column. The content type element is going to define a site content type. And then to get an instance of a list, we use list instance. And then for a list template, if we want to bind a content type to it, we use the content type binding element to bind that content type to the list template or instance. The field element, again, defines a site column. It's the same XML schema as field in the list template schema. There's a large number of attributes that define its type and behavior. That's one way to do it. When you're first doing it, you may want to prototype creating the field in the browser and then extract it out into a feature until you get more familiar with the schema, and then you can just do it all by hand. So in this demo, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a field in the browser, and then we're going to extract that out and create it into a feature, and then we're going to go ahead and deploy that feature. I'm going to go into the site settings, and we're going to go into site columns, and we're going to create a site column through the browser. So I'm going to call this site column favorite color, and it's going to be choice. And I'll go ahead and we'll make it a new group. So there is an existing group here. These are all the site column groups. This is just a way of how in the UI, when you go to browse all the site columns, how they're organized. So if you're creating a new site column, it's always a good idea to have a group. So typically it would be like the name of the project that you're working on, or name of the organization, or something like that that you can get to right away. So I'll just call this one My Columns. And then for the description, I'll say, what is your favorite color? And for the choices, we'll say red, blue, yellow. I'll just say red. RGB, red, green, blue. Make it easy. And we'll make it radio buttons. And we'll click OK. So I should scroll down, should be able to see my columns, and here it is, the column that we just created. So now I'm going to open up Visual Studio, and let's create a new project, and we'll call it favorite color. And we don't need this, so we'll delete this. And we'll go ahead and add item. Use XML file again. Feature file. Okay. And well, we need to assign the ID for the feature, so I'm going to give it a create a GUID, new GUID, copy, exit, paste that in. I'll get rid of the curly braces. SharePoint doesn't like that. Then I'll call it, for the scope, when you create fields, that needs to be at the site collection level. So we're going to choose site. Same thing goes for content types. And title, we'll call it color demo. Close that out, save that. Then we'll add element manifest. And file location equals elements.xml. Save that. Okay, now we'll go ahead and add the elements.xml file. Whoops. XML file, we'll call it elements. So now we need to extract the field definition from the site collection. So the way we're going to do that is I've installed a tool from Codeplex called SharePoint Manager 2013. And so I'm going to go on my start menu, or actually, let me go back to my desktop. I have this in already saved. So let me go to downloads. I have it here. Here's my SharePoint Manager. So I downloaded this from Codeplex. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize this. We'll drill down into our server, to my team site, and I'm going to go into the fields, and then we're going to look for the one that we created called favorite color. Here it is. And then I'm going to click on the Schema tab here, Schema XML, and then I'm going to copy and paste that onto the clipboard. So now I have the schema for this. Now I can go back into Visual Studio, and inside my elements I can copy and paste this. And let's just make it so a little bit easier to see on the screen. So let's bring these attributes, each one on their own line. It's a little bit easier to, I like to do this whenever I create features. I put them all on separate lines. It's easier to see what's going on. So notice how in the static name and the name attributes, you have the underscore x0020 underscore. It's an encoding. It's in place of this space that's found in the display name attribute. Because when we created it, we made the word favorite space color, and so SharePoint, it uses that for the display name, but for the static name, it can't have spaces in it, so it does that encoding. So now I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to make it favorite color without the space. I'm going to leave the display the same. And everything else looks good here. I'm going to save that. So what I'm going to do now is, before I install this feature, I want to go ahead and delete the feature that, or I'm sorry, delete the site column that we created. So I'm going to go to my columns. Oops. This one. I want to just delete that because we don't want that to be in the UI anymore. So I'll just go ahead and delete it. We didn't associate it with anything. There was no content types or lists that it's been associated with. So now we can go ahead and delete that. Then I'm going to go into the features folder again. So I'll go to template, features, we'll open that, and I'll create a new folder, and we'll call it favorite color. And let me go ahead and close this. Then we need to copy everything from here. Elements and feature. We'll put that into the 15 hive in the favorite color folder under features. Now we're good to go there. So now let's go ahead and install it. So I'll start up the SharePoint 2013 PowerShell, and I'll say install feature, install SP feature, path is favorite color. Okay, so that's installed. Now let's go into the UI. So let's go to the site settings. And this is, remember, this feature is scoped at the site level. So that's the site collection level. So we need to go to Site Collection Administration, go to Site Collection Features, and here it is. Here's our feature, Color Demo. So when we activate that, it's going to create a field. So there's going to be a group created called My Columns, and you're going to see this field called Favorite Color. So let's just verify that that's not there, just real quick, just so we're not. Actually, let's go back to site settings. So site settings for the site, we'll go to Site Columns now, and just verify that it's been created. So we'll go to My Columns, here's My Columns, here's Favorite Color, it's there. And just to verify that everything matches up, and there it is, red, green, blue.